Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 132. Tonight, it's been a Nintendo Direct, and we're going to give our thoughts on it. We're also going to be talking about price changes, remakes, and a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games that we've been playing. We're talking all of that and more. Greetings, fellow Nintendo Pals. My name is Andross, and this is the Nintendo Pals Podcast, the show all about Nintendo and friendship. And speaking of friendship, my long-lost co-host, Micah,
Yep.
is here. He's returned. He's back.
For now.
For now. Oh, man. I gotta ask, Micah, how the heck are you?
Doing pretty good.
That's pretty great to hear. Yeah, we missed you. We replaced you with an AI that definitely was a lot more chatty. Long-winded.
I heard it went pretty well.
Yeah, surprisingly well with Chat GPT. If anybody listening hasn't checked out that episode, it's 2 episodes back. We had Chat GPT as a guest since Micah was out and I needed a last-minute addition. But Micah, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I got to ask you this question. What's the best thing that you got from one of your parents? I'm assuming this is like a trait. Like what's the best, like a good trait?
I was going to say life.
You only got that from one of your parents? I think that's a 2-person deal.
One or more.
Best thing, I'm trying to think of the best thing I got from my parents was, I don't know, a love of gaming. Got that from my parents. And a sense of humor. I probably should have like a better answer to this question. I feel like my parents, if they listen to this, will be offended. Those are the 2 things that came to mind first. But that's what I'm picking.
Yeah, I got a different sense of humor than the ones my parents have.
I don't know. I feel like good old Rick. I feel like he's pretty similar sense of humor.
And until it comes to memes.
True. Yeah. but I think that's just a generational
dog,
thing.
Diabetes cat. My parents don't understand at all.
I forgot about that.
Comedy gold.
Diabetes. Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, but I think I think that's just a generational thing because I laugh at things my parents don't think are funny even remotely. I think that's what it is. I don't know. And then I look at what like my younger siblings and the rising generation of adults look at as funny, and I just do not understand. So I'm like, I think it's just, it gets more abstract and weird as it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of abstract and weird, do you know what we're doing tonight?
What we do several times a week now.
Every episode of this show, we try to take over the world of Nintendo podcasts, and we do that through 5-star reviews. That's right. You, the listener, help us to take over the world by leaving us a 5-star review on your listening platform of choice. You can do that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, and Audible. All those places let you leave 5-star reviews. And we got a new 5-star review this week, Micah, on Spotify. An anonymous 5-star review, because you can't leave a written review on Spotify. If you want to leave us a written review, Apple Podcast is a great place to do that. Podchaser is a great place, and Audible. Spotify doesn't have that yet, but Spotify is within 3 reviews of catching up with Apple Podcasts in reviews. I'm pretty stoked about that. So thank you to everybody out there who has been leaving us 5-star reviews on Spotify. And I've been tracking where we're at in search results and such. If you do just a quick Google search for Nintendo podcasts, we will pretty much always show up in the top 10 search results on Google. But if you search best Nintendo podcast, number two, baby, let's go. Guess who number 1 is?
What happens if you search worst?
I don't know, actually. Let's try it. Worst.
This is gonna be the
Nintendo
number 1 of this one
podcast. Actually, the Nintendo podcast comes up first. I don't know if that's intentional or just because they have a lot of titles that have worst in the title. We fixed
probably.
your worst games, our best and worst, and they're all in all caps as well. Anywho, we're the best. Second best only
best adjacent.
Yeah, second best only to Nintendo's official podcast, actually, when you search that. And that's pretty hype. And it's all thanks to people leaving us 5-star reviews and searching us out and following us on all those platforms. So thank you. All right, Micah, we got a lot to cover this week. A lot to cover. So what do you say we just jump on into the first segment of our show? Let's talk what you playing. Micah, what have you been playing lately?
Not too much. Been pretty busy with moving and getting ready to move. But I did get Glyph for $2.
Ooh.
I've played that for a few hours, and it's pretty fun.
I should have picked that one up. I should have picked it up.
I remembered 3 hours before the sale ended.
And it was pretty good.
It was worth it.
Also, we got Kid Fiasco here in chat. Says, hey, what's up? What's up? What's up with you, Kid Fiasco? Thanks for coming by. Yeah. I know nothing about Glyph. Tell me about this game. What? I didn't even look. All I saw was someone post, "Hey, this is on sale," and I've heard it's really good.
You're kind of like a ball robot thing, and you roll around.
I see why you like it.
And you sometimes fly a little bit, and you can't touch sand because sand is evil and corrupt, or something like that. It blows you up.
You don't like sand? It's coarse and gets into everything.
It's irritating. And it straight murders you in this game.
Oh. I mean, if you're a robot ball, I guess that would be pretty devastating to get hit with sand.
Yep.
Is that why there's not a desert planet in Metroid?
How do you know this? How many Metroid games have you played?
I've never seen one mentioned or talked about. Is there no desert planet?
I mean, there's kind of sand.
Oh, okay.
In spots for sure, because these creatures jump out of it.
Oh. Okay. Well, there you have it.
Yep.
And so that besides that,
just a little bit of Rocket League, I think.
Oh, busy moving, but you're going to be doing a pretty long move, so you'll have a lot of car time to play some new games, right? Or old games.
Sort of, but I get car sick, so we'll see. I was thinking of busting out some of the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games and seeing how that works out for me.
How that feels. Just put on the filter that they included with it that makes it look like an old screen, and then you'll be like, your brain will be like, oh, you're just playing Game Boy just like you used to. It's fine. You won't get sick.
I'm pretty sure I used to get car sick.
Oh. Well, shoot. Well, speaking of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, that's what I've been playing this week. I've been playing a lot of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. I played a good chunk of Mario Land. It was a few levels of that. I played all of WarioWare. I finished the main game of that.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, it's not long. It's not long. It similar to current WarioWare. You play through it, and then it unlocks the levels to essentially be endless, and then you can like go for high scores. And then there's a bunch of mini games. There's some good 2-player mini games you can play online, which I need to try.
Pretty cool.
You should try that at some point. And then I also decided to give Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga a try, and I really like it. I really like it a lot, and I think you will really like it a lot.
Yeah.
Or have you played
I
any of the
plan on
Mario?
getting around to that. I played Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. I believe they're pretty similar.
Yeah, I think they're built on like the same exact engine. Yeah, it's really fun. It's Paper Mario, but with a little bit less focus on the RPG side and a lot more focus on the action commands. Is essentially what it is. So yeah, and I guess puzzle solving with the two of them. I think it just makes me sad that the studio's gone. Like, well, shoot, now I want more games in this series. And that's not going to be happening. But I can play other games in the series. Just go back and play more of those. Let me see. What else did I play on? I feel like I played more of that. Maybe as I'm firing that up, I can talk about I've played Breath of the Wild and did a Valentine's Day challenge where I followed a WikiHow article on how to have the best Valentine's Day. And so I just did that in Zelda. And it was pretty funny.
Nice.
I had some very funny moments. There are some I mean, Link's got his way with the ladies, man. Like there's some lines in this game where you did you do the Firefly quest? You probably did because
Probably.
probably the pie. Like leave the fireflies out, and she's like, they're so pretty, and you can respond, "You're so pretty." Like that's a line you can say, and I just thought that was so funny. I was like, why is this an option? There's like the lady in town. She's like, oh man, he's such a strong guy. I hope he comes and knocks an arrow for me because she's really into archery. And but it turns out she was the wife of the crazy Kuko guy that chose the Kukos over his wife. Like
Old choice.
I was like, what a weird what a weird series of events I experienced as part of this game. But yeah, that was fun. I also played some Spelunky 2, of course, just fitting that in. And then other Game Boy Advance games I gave a shot. Kururin? I don't know how to spell that. It's the one with like the spinning thing, and you have to like.
Yeah, that's been. Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. The spinning.
It was
thing.
in the direct. It was in the direct.
Yeah.
It spins around.
You
have to
make it past the obstacles.
Yeah, like make it on the track system. It's like that classic game where you have the metal loop and you have to not touch anything or it will buzz. It's like a video game version of that. And then Mario Kart Super Circuit, which I have heard is like the worst Mario Kart game. And I gotta disagree. I think it's pretty fun. I don't know.
So what is the worst Mario Kart game then?
Probably just base Mario Kart.
Wow.
And I love that game. This is essentially a direct sequel to that game. It plays with that 2D, but with like better sprites. And it has like a similar coin and battle system. It's like a direct sequel to the SNES version, where N64 kind of took it a different direction. And I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia for the SNES version that really made me enjoy my time with this game, but I like it a lot. I think it's good. Maybe what I'm trying to say is there is no such thing as a bad Mario Kart game. They're all great. They're all fantastic. Well, that's what I've been playing. I don't have anything else to highlight. Oh, I remembered today that we bought Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games 2020 for my son for Christmas.
And you finally just busted it out?
No, I bought it on Humble Bundle and never redeemed the code.
Hmm.
So I went in and pulled it, and it was still there. So we redeemed that today. I was like, "Hey, surprise! Merry Christmas in February."
Have they played it yet?
Yeah, he was playing. He was playing it this afternoon. Was having a good time with it. It looks really fun. I played a few of the mini games on it, and there's like this whole side thing where you play the Olympics from 1964, and you're like the classic Nintendo characters. Maybe I need to look up um, the Olympics from 1964 because I where was it? Where was it held? Oh, it was held in Tokyo. That's why.
I have absolutely no idea.
So that's why they're doing it there. You can go back in time essentially through this game that they get sucked into, but it's also just part of like you can play all of the sports as like their own little mini games. And yeah, I was like, why 1964? Mario and Sonic were not invented in my 1964. What is happening here? Because they're like the classic original Mario and original Sonic.
Yeah.
But that's why. It's because they still wanted it to be in Tokyo. Sure. So there you go. That's fun.
Nice.
I've reached a point in life where I like forgot I bought a game. Like that's kind of sad.
Makes me wonder how many games you're buying over there.
Well, this is why I want physical games. Because if it's digital,
They
I
just
lose
show
track.
up and you're like, wait a second. I did buy this.
Yeah. Well, Micah, that. I guess we'll do it for what you're playing. So let's jump into the meat of this episode. Let's talk the Nintendo Direct in the Nintendo news. Alrighty. So there's other news items, but I think we'll maybe save those for future episode. We'll talk about a couple things here. But Nintendo Direct happened this week.
Yep.
What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, overall, I think this is one of the best ones they've had. Yeah, it was there was like almost no lows in this direct for me. And you would argue that my low should have been a high because it was a character customization game.
Oh yeah, for real though. You've made comments like, man, I wish there was a game of just this character customization from these games. And then they make one and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah, well,
this is the worst.
Yeah. I'm a hypocrite, I guess. I didn't like the presentation and I didn't think it looked that good. Anywho, Nintendo Direct. So we can cover every announcement here, but maybe like let's stop. We can gloss over ones that we maybe didn't care about as much, but you want to take the first one here?
Yeah, they finally showed us a little bit of Pikmin 4, which will be released on July 21st. They showed off like an ice Pikmin and some weird dog-like creature.
Which has a name. It showed the name of it in the presentation, but I already forgot what it was. Yeah. Seth knew what it was because he caught it. And I was just on the Nintendo Drive with them.
Yeah, but it looks like you and some of your Pikmin can like hop on its back and run around, and they can like swim.
Yeah, it's
carry
like
stuff.
It's like Poochie from Woolly World, right? Yeah, he's a good boy. And then this showed off the like lower perspective as well, the gameplay.
I didn't pay attention to that, I guess.
Well, remember Miyamoto talked about that when it was first.
Yeah, you can like see see the world from Pikmin's view
His name is
and whatnot.
Oatchi. Oatchi. One word.
Hmm.
That's hard to say.
Maybe it's more just Ochi.
Ochi. Yeah, this is like, it doesn't feel that different with this perspective. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, but I guess it is less top down. But even I'm seeing like some camera angles where it looks more top down. I don't know. I don't think it's like I don't think it's that different. Anyway, that was Pikmin 4. I'm excited for this game. I think it's gonna look really good. I think it's gonna be really fun and play really well. It's designed specifically for Switch. It's not a remaster of the Wii U one, so hopefully it's longer. I think the Wii U one was kind of short.
Yeah, it wasn't super long.
Also, nighttime mode looks interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just like a fancy cutscene. They just made the cutscene fancier when it goes to night and you have to get out of there or all your Pikmin die.
Yeah, it would be a weird way for them to end the trailer to tease with that. But maybe.
Yeah, it almost seems like you can stay around at night, but things are just extra dangerous, maybe.
Yeah, because you can like see collectible things. Yeah. The blood moon rises once again. They come to life. Another joke I stole from the Nintendo Drive. I was a guest on there this week. It was super fun. So everybody can check that out. That was like the day the direct went live. So very fresh reactions over there. But next up, they showed us the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Expansion Pass DLC. Got this new
it's like a new character.
Emerald loving
something.
character. She likes jewelry stuff. But then it showed some like crazy things coming with the like Wave 4. For those listen, I am not a Xenoblade Chronicles expert. I haven't played any of the games, but I am interested in the lore of video games and love to read about lore. And so I'm aware of who the characters are in this cutscene. Obviously, Shulk. You've got Shulk, and he is talking with it looks like I think his name is Alvis. Yeah,
I have no idea what any of them look like. Yeah. I kind of know what Shulk looks like, but that's just because of Smash Bros.
He's talking with Alvis, and Alvis appears to be doing something bad, evil-like, because they are not
classic
happy.
Alvis.
They're not happy with him. Well, he was all over the place in the first game, and then also kind of makes an appearance in the second game. But then you also see Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And he's ripped now. Like he's got a little goatee stash thing going on, and he's just jacked. So I saw a comment on the trailer with this picture and said, "Be careful of what game designs you make fun of in high school." I thought that was really funny. Be careful of whose video game designs you make fun of in high school. That's too good. Anyways, that looks like it's gonna be super hype. And yeah, it showed all 3 protagonists in this teaser for the story expansion.
Yep. And then they showed what might be your favorite game from the Direct, Samba de Amigo.
Yeah, I was very confused by this.
Party Central.
It's so weird looking.
It just looks like an extra cool Just Dance to me.
Yeah, I don't know about that. It looks like something. This was a game on the Wii, apparently. A series from the Wii. Someone in our chat during the Direct, it was Kirby the Poyo, said this is basically a... who develops this? Is this Namco? Like basically a Namco mascot. I was like, okay. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about this, but I have even less to say about Fashion Dreamer, which is coming in 2023, where you play as a style influencer and you get to wear outfits and spread your brand. They were using all these like streamer lingo words for like that just made me feel gross. You know, like, oh yeah, spread your influence, share the hottest trends. And I just don't like that culture. And maybe that's what
You
was
can
the
just
big
think of it
turnoff.
as good practice for spreading your brand.
Yeah, it's a little different because this is about fashion, and I don't think we're really spreading fashion with Nintendo Pals. Listen, Nintendo Pals isn't fashionable; it's friendshipable.
Speak for yourself.
But if you do like fashion, you can check out our merch store. Links in the description of the episode. Yeah. I like this was the low point for me. I think it was a Samba de Amigo followed by this. I was like,
I I feel like those should have been two of your top games.
well, this next one, it's pretty hype.
Yeah, this looks pretty cool. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania DLC. Looks like a pretty sweet crossover.
Mm-hmm.
I think I mentioned it has like 50 of the
Remix
songs from
tracks,
Castlevania.
yeah. And you've got Richter and an Alucard, and
Some of the weapons and stuff.
Dracula's there. Gorgeous pixel art, just looks good. And then we are hit with Tron Identity, and this one's interesting. For some reason, wasn't this like teased or talked about at some
Remember
point
some
earlier?
Tron thing teased a while ago, and they didn't show like anything. They just a disc or something. Like,
yeah,
Tron.
that was at the like Disney showcase, right? The Disney Games showcase that we watched, and we were like,
Maybe.
why did we watch this? But Tron was like one of their big announcements. Is this the game? I don't think this is going to be bad. It looks interesting, but this is a visual novel. Just
not quite what I was expecting.
no, and I think that's okay. Like, but it's just weird that this is the game they decided to go use this IP for. Like, this seems like a side project in addition to other things. Not like, all right, this is our Tron game, you know? So maybe there is more coming. Who knows?
They probably know.
They do, yeah.
Speaking of not knowing things, Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective. I assume he doesn't know things and he tries to figure it out since it has detective in the name. But he also dies or something. I know you had heard of this game previously, and I had not.
I had heard of this game from watching or listening to the podcast by our buddy Seth, $2 Hero, who was on here on the show last week. He loves this game. This is like one of his favorite DS games ever, and has some of the coolest characters ever. And it was one that was so DS specific that I was like, it's never going to come. So I actually watched a playthrough of it.
Rookie mistake.
And I'm sad, but I will play. I mean, I jumped around in watching the playthrough just so I could like, because I just wanted to see mostly the story beats. You know, my obsession with game lore for games I'm never gonna play. This one I am very interested in picking up. You solve puzzles. You are dead, and you are trying to figure out how you died. And you have 1 day to figure out how you died. Actually,
Kind of a bummer.
So yeah, and like the plot for this game is crazy. It's really well put together, woven together very well. Just really interesting. Looks really good, and the remaster looks great. This was a DS game. I'm like amazed by that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
pretty good.
Mhm.
Well, keeping right along, we love detective games, so let's just go into this next one. Deca Police, the most anime detective thing I've ever seen.
I don't even remember this. Not gonna lie.
This is the one where he shot that bow and like exploded the
Oh
town.
yeah, like blew up the whole city. It looked like.
Yeah,
I
because
didn't pay attention to the name, I guess.
you play as, I think his name's Harvard, and they are training to be detectives in a simulation
Ah, that's right.
of a city.
But then people hack things or
But
something.
then
Some
there's
guy turns into a cat for a little bit.
there's a hacker, and the main character becomes a cat, and it's just really over the top. It looks like an RPG, straight RPG fighter, and yeah, beardy old man, you're under arrest for attempted jewelry heist. Like, this is the kinds of lines we're getting in this thing. It was very over the top, very intense, but it looks pretty good.
Then they showed some more of Bayonetta Origins, Teresa, and the Lost Demon. That will be coming out the 17th of March. I don't remember if we'd gotten a release date already.
I can't remember either. I don't think so. Maybe. This game looks really cool. I like the it's kind of in this genre of two player characters that have to work together to solve puzzles and win. It's
Beat
like
stuff up.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like It Takes Two, but It Takes Two requires two people. This, I think, is a single player, but you're controlled.
This is just like that mini game from Nintendo Land, the Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
Sweet Treat or whatever it's called.
yeah. That's a good one. Where you have to like focus on both characters at the same time. Cool idea. I'm excited for this one. It looks really good. Maybe a Bayonetta game I will actually play. It definitely seems like it isn't focused on, making Bayonetta a waifu. I was just trying to look for some like,
I was wondering where you're going with that.
yeah, and that's good because she's supposedly a child in this game. So let's not do that.
Oh,
people.
yeah.
Like let's definitely not do that.
This is before she became Bayonetta, because apparently that's not her like actual name.
No, Bayonetta's a title.
I just found that out now.
Yeah. Yep. It has the Bayonetta has a weird like lore, in that she like time travels and helps her child self and stuff. So who knows where this falls in that. Next item. I think it's you.
Yeah.
Or is it
Next
me?
item is you.
Oh, it's me. Oh, good, because I wanna talk about this.
I thought you might.
Splatoon 3 DLC. They spent a good chunk of time in the direct talking about this, but we are getting, what is Inkopolis?
Inkopolis,
I
yeah.
was like, what is it called? Inkopolis as a hub area in Wave. What is it called? Wave 1?
Wave 1.
And I mean, that's what it is. You have different shopkeepers, but I think it's the same shops.
Yes, they mentioned the same items.
And you can basically do everything you can do in Splatsville. But it's Inkopolis. And then they showed,
A little teaser for Wave 2.
yeah, which is the story expansion.
we
where
assume.
you are like an octoling in an all-white town with,
And it's titled Side Order.
yeah, and
That's all we know.
there's like paper mache fish flying around. It showed a lot of like cuts to like a brain. So it's like, is this like a dream world? I don't. Who knows what's going on exactly here. But you play as an Octoling, so it could be the sequel to the Octo expansion. It's really like that story. Micah, what'd you think of this one?
I was a little underwhelmed with what they showed. I don't really care too much about being able to go around Inkopolis.
I think that Wave 1 is extremely lame and should not have been
Wow.
its own wave. Yeah, I think that they should have just waited and released it with Wave 2 and people would have loved it. But because they're releasing it as its own thing and they're like, look at this wave of thing you can get in an update, and it's just a reskin for the hub world. Like, are you kidding? There's no gameplay. There's no anything.
Exploration.
There's like nothing of substance. There's no substance to that. And I think most people agree on that. I was on the Nintendo Drive and they were human. Like, they were super angry. I'm not angry about it. I just think it was a bad decision to do it this way. They were like, they're trying to get money. This is, angry Sean. Sean was actually super hyped for this direct. I'm painting a picture like he was really angry, but just like it feels like a money grab for people with nostalgia more than like a meaningful update. I'm like, yeah, I could see that for just the Wave 1. It should have just like they just packaged it wrong. It shouldn't be its own separate thing when there's no gameplay or no additional thing to it. But Wave 2 looks cool. If they had just shown that, I think I would have a completely different opinion.
Yeah, my problem with that is it's just like a little tease, and
Yeah.
it really showed nothing.
Yeah, and it didn't even give like any sort of time frame, right? There's just like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
these things might be coming. Okay. Anywho, a little bit of a bummer.
Speaking of disappointing DLC, got some Fire Emblem Engage expansion pass stuff, which is out now.
What? Why?
I don't even remember what it talked about, to be honest. I just like bashing on Fire Emblem since so many people in our community love it. And I haven't played like any.
I thought it was funny that Crom
Oh, yeah, it's Crom and the other one.
Robin.
They also had Robin.
Yeah,
I couldn't remember.
It's like, guys, can they just be their own characters? Like, why do they have to be attached to each other? Because remember when Crom was like first put into Smash Bros. As the final Smash for Robin? that was it. And then he became his own character. It's like, I just feel like they really don't need to be like that. But whatever. Maybe it all makes way more sense if I played the game.
Had actually played the games.
Yeah.
It might.
And then I feel like, they added Camilla as a thirst trap for people. Like, oh,
She was like the revelation.
yeah, she's
something
she's
hero.
definitely revelating something. I just don't like characters that are designed like so overtly like waifu or husbando. I just don't like that. I feel like it. I don't know. That's just me. Some people are really into that. So sure. Okay. Let's just move on. Revealing characters is what I'm trying to say. It's like, we've complained about it multiple times on this show. Third strongest world chat says, I want to forget about Camilla and intelligent systems won't let me. Our grievances against Xenoblade Chronicles 2. We've had like whole segments on that. Uh, yep. Yep.
Yep.
Take control of your destiny with this next game. Harmony. The Fall of Reverie. You're like a psychic that has connections to ghosty stuffs.
Nice.
And
Sounds
you
pretty
can.
exciting.
What I remember about this one was you can choose like a side to support. And one of them was chaos. And I was like, well, that's mine. If I get this game, I go with chaos. There's bonds, power, and chaos. Those are the different, like,
I think they
paths.
said there were like 6, but then they didn't name all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I might be remembering that wrong.
Yep.
Yep.
I don't actually know what this game is. It looks kind of detective-y, visual novel-y.
Yeah. Speaking of detective games, they then showed off some more Disney Illusion Island.
Oh,
July
yeah.
28th.
Oh, yeah. Definitely like the peak of detective games. This is actually out of order in the notes. Disney's Illusion Island came earlier, but my bad.
Oh, well.
That's what I
Yeah,
get
I mean,
for
it looks like
copy-pasting a list.
it could be a fun local co-op.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it looks fantastic. Looks a little. There are a lot of people that are comparing it to Rayman Origins. I think Rayman Origins looks a little better. The character design looks great, but the worlds themselves, the levels, and the animations, something feels off and cheap. But I have confidence that this game will be really good because Mickey Mouse and 2D just go together really well. All of the 2D Mickey Mouse games have been really good that I've played, and like Epic Mickey. So I think there's enough of a backing to the IP and what they're trying to do here. I think it'll look good. Work good, not look good. Work good. Next up, speaking of look good, actually, is that next?
Next on the list.
It's next
That's all
on
that
the
really
list.
matters.
We're just going to go off our list, which is not in order of the thing. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp coming the 21st of April, 2023. Why is it?
Finally getting that release date.
Yeah, but why April? It's done. What? What do
Why
you mean?
not April? I mean,
is it to fill a gap? Like, we have stuff this month. What's coming in March?
Nothing. Dead Cells. That's coming in March.
I guess we're getting like
Bayonetta Origins.
Okay, Bayonetta Origins and Kirby's coming at the end of the month. So yeah, okay. Not March, at end of February. So kind of more of a March. Yeah, I don't have anything to say about it. We've talked about it at length. It looks good. Excited to try that series out.
Yeah, then they showed off some more Octopath Traveler 2.
Yeah.
For February 24th. I feel like I've seen this in like 17 different directs by this point. I keep forgetting the game isn't out yet, and then there's another direct about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hype series for a lot of people, but I do think it's more niche. It's not. I mean, that's just how turn-based RPGs are, and that's what it's going for. It fits that niche well. It looks good. We love Katamari Reroll. I'm all for this. I think the Katamari games are awesome. They're just so weird, and I love it. And they added a camera mode. Hype. Take selfies.
Yep. Every game nowadays, you have to be able to take pictures.
True.
Speaking of taking pictures, Sea of Stars will be coming out August 29th.
Ooh. And we are very hopeful this does well so that we can crush all Nintendo podcast in the Fantasy Critic League.
Yep. If only we had said Metroid Prime original on there. Currently has, well, they're remastered, has a 96.
Oh dang! What? I mean,
That's right.
that is like the best Metroid game, and they did a really
Yeah,
good
it's
job with
only
the
gotten
remaster.
better.
Um, Sea of Stars looks really good. It looks like peak pixel art. So I can get behind that. I can get behind that. It's gonna look really good. Then we got a look at a new game called Omega Strikers, and that's a free to play like air hockey soccer esque game.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I just don't have a lot of faith in these games. Like this one doesn't look bad, but I just feel like this will be supported for a little bit, and it's just not sustainable. It's not gonna like it doesn't have an IP behind it that's gonna keep it alive long term. And
Yet.
well,
It's
and
making its own IP.
yeah, and the thing is, it's not a game like a lot of these live service games, these free to play games talked about. I feel like I've talked about recently somewhere on a podcast are all they all have like a limited shelf life, and I think this one's just gonna not last a long time. I think this is gonna be similar to Knockout City. You know, it's gonna be
Yeah.
maybe even less so because it doesn't have EA behind it, like pumping money into it. So I don't know. I just don't want to get into a game like this because of that. Because I'm like, it's just not going to last. Might give it a shot though. It is free.
Yeah. Free things are nice.
Yeah.
Even if they aren't good.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
But it's free. So that's all that really matters. Yep. And then they showed some Etrian Odyssey. Etrian? Actually, I don't know how to say that. Origins Collection.
Yeah, this is
1st of June.
interesting. I
Don't remember this, not gonna lie.
This is the one where you like had to draw your own custom map while going through like a forest maze.
Ah, yeah. And I was like, oh, I don't want to have to draw my own map. And then they mentioned the auto mapping.
The thing about this one, I had heard of this series, but I'd never seen gameplay until now, and I was like, oh, this is not what I was expecting. I don't know. It just seemed like an RPG game, but no, this is like a puzzle maze game. It does have RPG elements to it and battles and such, but I have no idea what this game really is. It looks good. It looks pretty.
According to Third Strongest Mole, is an RPG.
Yeah, but isn't everything an RPG?
No.
Yeah, but this is like that. What I pictured in my mind was Final Fantasy, like a Final Fantasy style RPG, and it doesn't look like that. Also, you can play in 3 difficulty modes: Picnic, Basic, and Expert. For those who like a walk in the park, play Picnic. I like that. That's a funny way to say that. Yeah. Well, speaking of walk in the park, next up we got Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. And I say walk in the park because the game's pretty easy. But it's very fun. And it looks great because it dropped a demo. And so we downloaded that demo right away. My kids love Kirby, so we played Kirby. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It's
and
Kirby.
it's Kirby.
It's Kirby. The minigame collection's fun. You can collect costumes, dress Kirby up in different masks. You can play as Bandana Waddle Dee, Meta Knight, and King Dedede as well. So I was Bandana Waddle Dee with a fish mask. That was pretty hype. I probably will be picking this one up because my kids are very excited for it. And it's a fun 4-player co-op game.
Or you just pretend you got it and just let them keep playing the demo over and over again.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work anymore. They're a little. They actually were like, oh, I got all of the like. My son has played through the demo twice at this point to completion, They collected all of the gears because you collect gears per each level. He's like, I collected all the gears. Why is the next level not unlocking?
Like,
I was like, that's because it's a demo. It doesn't have the full game. That was funny.
Rookie mistake. You should have just said you beat the game. Then you wouldn't have to get it.
No, I'm excited that they're excited for this game. It's fun that we're at that I'm at a point in parenting where my kids are interested in their own games that I'm not necessarily interested in. That's super cool. And I am interested in this. I like Kirby, and the Magolor epilogue I think looks really good. They showed that as well, and that was announced.
That's
We didn't even talk about that.
Something a little extra for the deluxe version.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
They announced for the Nintendo Switch Online, I think, expansion pass, Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are out now.
No, it's not the expansion pack. Game Boy Advance's expansion pack and Game Boy's for base.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I think they did it in a smart way to give value to the expansion pack, but also not take off everybody by making everything in the expansion pack.
Yeah.
This was hype. This is probably the highlight of the direct for me, besides one other announcement. Two other things. Yeah. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, and they start with a pretty small library, honestly. I think the Game Boy Advance has 6 games, and the Game Boy has more than that. 8?
I don't remember what games they have, but all I know is they don't have Golden Sun yet.
Not yet. That one is coming. They did announce that one is coming. On the Game Boy side, they have, it's loading, 9 games.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, decent sized. It'll be interesting to see what comes, because could we see Pokemon on these, you think? Will those be sold to us
Probably
separately?
not.
Yeah.
Because they got to remake those.
Yeah.
They got to remake one of those games every year.
However, we're getting Pokemon Coliseum on the N64.
That's different.
1 and 2. But could you imagine, they have the Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games available, and you could transfer Pokemon between them, like you could to play on Coliseum? That would be cool. I was also really hyped for the Game & Watch gallery to try those games out. It's like a big piece of Nintendo history. And Super Mario Land 2. Yeah. You want to? You want to? I'll tell you what I am indifferent towards. I'm gonna make it a point here because it will make people upset. Tetris. I don't care that we got Tetris. We have Tetris.
I'm not planning on playing it.
Yeah, Tetris is Tetris. It always is Tetris. Playing it with a green screen filter doesn't. That doesn't sound.
Whoa. Now you're going too far.
Why?
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, it's just you can play Tetris anywhere. I don't want to play the oldest version of Tetris. I feel like every version since has been better. Besides maybe that one mobile one. Fighting words. Throwing it out there because controversy gets clicks. I've seen it. I've seen it happening all over. But that is genuinely how I feel about it. I'm indifferent. People are so hyped for that game. I'm just I don't get it. It's Tetris. It's not like Mario RPG where we can't play it anywhere else, so bring it over. No, Tetris has been available on everything forever since the Game Boy one. This is a classic Micah. This is where I'm getting into the Micah reasoning of I think this is just nostalgia fueled. That's what people are into.
Well, I think you're wrong. I think it's awesome, probably for
You
other
just want to
people to
disagree.
play.
You just want to disagree with me.
No, they got the old school filter version.
Yeah.
So
No.
cool. They got it in color too. Wow.
Anything you were hyped for out of these? Or not hyped
Oracle
for?
of Ages and Seasons. I wonder how they'll handle the extra stuff from having both.
Have you played
I don't
Minish
remember
Cap?
exactly how that works. I have. I'm also excited to play through that again.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And I'm excited for you to play Golden Sun when it comes out, because I know you will. After I've been talking about how good it is for so long.
Wait, can you play four-player Mario Kart on the Game Boy? I guess you could with multiple link cables. But we're also getting
Probably.
Metroid Fusion coming eventually. That was like one of the first
Oh
ones
yeah,
they
I forgot
showed.
about that too. I'm excited for that one.
Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. That's a great game. F-Zero. The Fire Emblem game. Hey, we can finally play a Fire Emblem game, Micah. Wow.
It's probably the one Fire Emblem game I've played like 10 minutes of from way back in the day.
It's the one with Roy.
Oh, Roy.
Yeah. Roy's our boy.
He's definitely in my top 20 favorite Fire Emblem characters.
It's top 20 favorite Fire.
That's about how many they have in Smash Bros, right?
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay, so after they announced the NSO expansion, which was super hype, everybody losing their minds.
Oh.
Then they're like, yeah, how about you lose your minds a little bit more? The original Metroid Prime game has been remastered for the Nintendo Switch. And guess what? It's out now. You can buy it immediately. Immediately. It's insane. It's insane. And it looks really good. This is one I will be picking up eventually.
Good. Soon.
Yeah, eventually soon. I want to get a physical version of it. Yeah, it looks really good. Very clean. Nice remaster.
Didn't they say the like digital's out now, but the physicals will be out on like the 22nd or something?
Yep. And it's at a $40 price range, which I think is awesome. It's going to give this game a needed boost. Because after the sales of Dread, which were good, but not as good as they should have been, because that game's incredible, I feel like putting this at the $40 mark is like a much needed boon for the total sales of this game.
Yeah, I wonder if it will outsell its original debut.
I think it will. I mean, we're on a system with a much bigger user base. So everybody that played the game on the GameCube is buying this game because that's just how the fan base is.
Good.
Yeah,
we already know it's fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, every Metroid fan is like, I have to buy this game to show Nintendo I love this series because we only get a game every 20 years.
Which doesn't even make sense because they sell better than Fire Emblem.
Listen, Micah. You're preaching to the
choir. It blows
choir.
my mind. There have been like 17 Fire Emblem games this last year.
17 this last year.
I don't really have that much against Fire Emblem except for they won't make more Metroid Prime games for some reason.
And Maddie Beth in chat says we should get a Metroid VR. That would be so sick and so terrifying. I don't know if I'd be able to play it. It'd be so scary. Like the game's already kind of got like a kind of creepy atmosphere overall.
Can you imagine Metroid Dread in VR and you just suddenly hear the Emmy beeping behind you?
Oh my gosh. This is actually perfect. That would be the one horror game I would play. Is a VR version of Metroid. Man, that would be fun. Anyways, that's Metroid Prime Remaster. Super hype. Shadow Drop. Boom. That is why we did not get Advance Wars out now. They were like, Metroid Prime is what we're gonna push. And here's my theory behind that, Micah. not to get your hopes up here,
Holiday season.
but why would they be pushing for Metroid Prime Remaster to be out so soon? Because they didn't have to do a shadow drop on this, right? Like that's a big deal. But they could have shadow dropped Advance Wars, right? Because it's done. They could have done something like that. Like, why do they need to get this out so early? And that is to generate buzz and hype for Metroid Prime 4, which is coming sooner than people think. That's my theory.
Plus there have been but there had been rumors that this remaster has been done for like a year or something. Which means they would have been saving it to generate hype potentially for Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit. We've got a little bit of rumor stuff to talk about. Yeah. Next thing.
Then they showed off some Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 HD remaster.
Another GameCube remaster. GameCube fans eating good, as they say. This is a cool game series and one I'm interested in trying out. But again, my backlog just continues to grow, and I'm just like that one's gonna fall on the wayside unless
Metroid Prime better move to the front of that backlog though.
I'm scanning things over in No Man's Sky currently, so I'm good on my scanner space games. on that category.
You disappoint me.
Next up, they showed Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time.
Mm-hmm. And I actually remember the name of that game, but I don't remember the gameplay from it.
It's Animal Crossing.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
But with more.
You can also there was like a dragon they fought, and the head of the dragon was as large as the entire body.
Yeah. Yeah, but then it was just like cutting between like medieval-ish fantasy elements and then just back to it's just straight Animal Crossing. It's just Animal Crossing. You got like the Animal Crossing house and trees and furniture placement. This could be really good. This could be filling the massive shaped hole in Animal Crossing fans' hearts. Because Animal Crossing is no more. They're not updating it. It's not getting anything new.
I mean, I want to say it's no more.
Till the next game, yeah.
Speaking of the next game they showed was Professor Layton and the New World of Steam.
This was the most... I mean, this is barely above the Prime 4 logo in reveals. But at least showed
much.
It at least showed Professor Layton with his hat. And he's like, hey, look at me. I'm Professor Layton. The world of Steam could be very cool. Steampunk Professor Layton? That's a good fit. That's a good fit. Next up, they showed Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Wave 4 DLC. A single track from it. But holy cow, this track looks amazing. I'm so hyped for this. Yoshi's Island, and it's brand new. It's a brand new course. It's not from a previous game. And holy cow, they recreated like the entirety of the world of Yoshi's Island in 3D. There's like unique enemies all over the place, elements of the level that just call back to the game. This may be, just based off the trailers, this may be my favorite course in Mario Kart ever. It looks
old words.
It looks
for a course you haven't played yet. Yeah, but it does have Yoshi in the title, so it's got to be pretty good.
Yeah, and it looks like it does not look like a lapped course. It looks like a segmented course. So you're playing up this 3 segments that are separate versus like 3 laps on the same track. And you know I'm a sucker for those. This is like Woohoo Island, but with Yoshi. So I'm pretty hyped for that. And Birdo was announced. And I was like, wait, Birdo's not in the game? Like, for some reason, that never clicked. So that was pretty hype.
Yeah, I saw lots of comments like that. People were like, wait a second, Birdo's not there?
But speaking of that, out on I think it was out on Twitter afterwards. Or maybe on the website, they talked about this update and future updates, and said specifically that there will be returning characters in future updates as well. So we may see more Mario Kart characters come back. That'll be interesting. Wiggler, King
That'd be
Babong,
cool.
Lakitu, Queen Bee was in a game. there's a bunch that aren't in this game that could be brought in. Yeah.
Yep.
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 Yep. And then they showed WBSC eBaseball Power Pros, which is out now.
Yeah, this is interesting, and I don't have anything to say about it. It's 99 cents.
I have no recollection of this. I think I must have still been talking about Mario Kart.
I believe from here it was montage time. A lot of games that we already know are coming out: Minecraft, Legends, Blanc, Mega Man, Battle Network, Have a Nice Death, Disney Dreamlight Valley. Yeah. And then there's one game that I think was omitted from the list. Rain Code. They didn't even put that in the list that I pulled. Rain Code, that detective game with
the rain,
with the ghost.
I don't even think they showed rain this last time, which was very disappointing.
Yeah, that one looks good actually. It's like a mixed detective game with Persona-y elements. Looks pretty good. All right, Micah. Take this last one. The hypest announcement in this trailer besides...
you want me to take this one?
Go for it.
Oh, wow. Oh, sure. Yeah. And then they showed this game no one's really that excited for. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's out like May 12th or something.
So they showed another trailer, and I still have no idea what's going on. Like this still is just so
But they
confusing.
have cars.
They've got cars.
A car.
A hot air balloon.
Like a drone.
A drone.
That's big enough. Gyrocopter. Is that what those are called?
Homing arrows. Micah, there were some things. I watched a 40 minute trailer breakdown. One of those, like frame by frame. Look at these things you missed. There are redeads. There is a redead in the trailer brought back to life during the blood moon.
Did it have just like its spine? Or is it?
Yeah, and it also its mouth opens sideways. It's horrifying. It looks like a combination of redeads from Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. Like if those two combined
both died real close to each other
and then came back to life. Yeah. There are a bunch of new enemies shown. And then as well, there's a part where he's pulling things out like Magnesis style out of the water. That appears to be the wheel to the car that he is later seen driving. So, according to this,
build your own vehicles.
Yeah, you can see pieces in different parts of the trailer as well. So it looks like you may build the vehicles.
Should be kind of wild.
Yeah, no one was expecting that. I think. I mean, I definitely wasn't like, you know what I want? A vehicle builder in the next Zelda game. You also hear the main Bado's voice, who everybody is assuming is Ganondorf. Some people are saying like, oh, it's Demise. He's back to life because Ganon died. I don't know. Who knows? I wasn't crazy about the voice. It felt like someone doing an impression of Ganondorf, not like a natural voice. Does that make sense? But I'll get used to it. Or I could just play with subtitles and play the Japanese voice acting. I'm sure that'll be...
That actually sounded very Japanese-esque, but English.
Yeah, it did.
But I mean, because a lot of Japanese things just
over the top.
The way they talk especially like anime and things, is just like so like yeah, like you said, over the top.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you translate straight into English, it just seems kind of weird.
I'm so hyped for this game. It looks so good. So good. They also announced that there's an amiibo and a special edition available. And then I guess this kind of molds into the other news items here. We'll cover briefly. The special edition has gone up for pre-order on GameStop.com, Best Buy, Target, and Walmart as of the date of the recording of this episode. Amazon is the last one for the special edition to go up on pre-order. Those all sold out instantaneously. I was there at the exact moment it basically went live for 2 of those, and they were gone before I could check out. I'm very sad. And so it seems like these are going to be very hard to get. And you're going to have to, not have a full-time job in order to get these because retailers drop them in the middle of the workday. Thanks, retailers. When are physical pre-orders for things not going to suck? We're in freaking 2023, and companies just can't get it right. This is a problem across all the gaming industry.
Well, I feel like all these things have gotten worse post-COVID.
Yeah. I'm not too worried. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to get it. And then, worst case scenario, I'll just get just the game. Should be a bummer because I want to get it's like I will
Your first time trying to get a collector's, right?
Yeah, I've never bought a collector's edition for a game, and this one's special to me, so I wanna do it. But yeah, it's like bot accounts and retailers just not caring about the consumer. They just do not care. They're like, oh, we're getting our money, so they don't put in safeguards against those things because a lot of this stuff is preventable. And why are we doing limited pre-orders? Why can't those be unlimited and you just get in a line to get the next wave if you're not going to be able to make the first wave? There are solutions to these problems, but retailers or game producers, but just refuse to do it. But I don't think this is on the publishers. I think this is on the retailers. Because when the publishers try to do it themselves, it just fails miserably as well. There was a lot of discussion about this on Discord, and in the Nintendo Pals Discord. But yeah, I think there's definitely better ways to do it, and then at the very least, safeguards to stop bots from getting the games. Limit one order per IP address. 1 order per credit card, 1 order per address, physical address entered. Put up these walls that will stop scalpers from coming in here and buying all the stock and then trying to resell it. Those things need to happen, but the retailers just do not care. They could not be bothered to do that. Anyway, that's my rant about this whole dumb pre-order nonsense. So yeah, Micah, I think the rest of this news we will save for our next news episode. We dove pretty deep here into the Nintendo Direct. But yeah, anybody out there listening, let us know what you thought of this Nintendo Direct, and I guess we'll head to the next segment of our show. Let's talk the rumor mill. I don't see anything in here, but there was something to talk about with this. Our very own Monkey Thunder, aka Nintendo's uncle, on the Discord posted a couple rumors here. First, all Gen 9 style sprites have been leaked, so we can see all the Pokemon that will be in Gen 9 through updates. We'll probably see Pokemon at Pokemon Day. We'll get some stuff coming out for that. But this interesting post about Retro and Metroid Prime. I'll read through here. So Retro's game after Tropical Freeze was canceled, and then they started to work on Metroid Prime Remastered. This is Monkey Thunder's summary of the article he posted. Then Bandai Namco was doing a bad job, so Nintendo handed Prime 4 to Retro. They finished work on the remastered, and then will finish Prime 4 while another studio finishes Prime 2 and 3. If Bandai Namco didn't mess up so bad, we would probably have Prime 1 through 4 right about now instead of just 1. Iron Galaxy Studios helped on Prime Remastered, as well as other Switch ports like Skyrim, Diablo, and Overwatch. Probably the studio that finishes up Prime 2 and Prime 3, while Retro finishes up 4. This seems like this makes sense timeline-wise, and why we're getting this so late. Basically split their development into two, into two. I don't know how much work... like, this remaster seems pretty hefty. So there was work that went into it, but...
It's mostly, like, art assets, I think.
Mm-hmm.
They did add in the dual stick controls, but I don't know how much that really took.
Well, there was that one
Not
dev...
as much as just making a game.
Yeah, there was that one dev that said that
It'd take like a year just to do that.
It would be quite an effort for a full team. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? I don't know how long these things take behind the scenes, but this all kind of makes sense and also makes me a little sad. But I'm glad that Retro is at the reins for Prime 4 versus Bandai Namco. Like, if it was so bad that Nintendo was like, no, we'll give it back to the original studio. I mean, it had to be pretty bad, I think. Because Bandai Namco is not a bad studio. They don't make bad games. I mean, they do, but their partnerships with Nintendo have traditionally gone very well. I mean, they were the primary developers behind Smash Ultimate. So I'm surprised. It just shocks me that this ended up this way. You got thoughts on this, Micah?
Not really anything more than you said.
Well, it's prime time. We're gonna get all the primes trickle down. I hope that 2 and 3 also get remastered and come, because that would be cool to have the whole series on Switch.
Yeah.
Or whatever the next system is. Well, that does it for our show tonight. Episode 132. That's a wrap. Overall, I thought the Nintendo Direct was really good. I give this an A+. Maybe an A-. It had that low at the very intro. And interesting to note that there was nothing new announced first party wise. It was a lot of remasters and updates on games we already knew about, but nothing like brand new. Where's that Star Fox? Where's that Mario? Where's that Donkey Kong? Let's get those in here. But what they showed, I mean, it was great pacing. Everything was pretty hype announcements. So, yeah, I think it was good. What score do you give it, Micah?
I give it a pretty good.
Out of yup.
I'm not quite sure that's how that scale works.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. Well, speaking of pretty good and not knowing how that scale works, where can people find you, Micah? Where can people find you on the internet?
On Twitch and YouTube at Micah Prime.
Micah Prime. And you can find me, Andross1. Twitch.tv/Andross1, YouTube.com/Andross1, where I am going hard on content creation. So please come help me out. Support the YouTube channel by subscribing. Help me hit that 1,000 subscribers so I can unlock like the new benefits and stuff. Also, I need more followers on Twitch so I can get more emotes and things. Please help a brother out. With that, you can also follow the show. We are Nintendo Pals on Twitter and all the social medias. You can find us. You can listen to the show on all podcast listening platforms and on YouTube. So video versions of the podcast are available on YouTube and Spotify. So with that, we will wrap up this episode with our Patreon shout out. This is the shout out we give to all of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $3 a month, you can be involved as part of this shout out. But at that tier, you get exclusive access to Pals Plus, the show after the show, where we talk about whatever we want. And at higher tiers and other levels, you get rewards behind the scenes, emotes in Discord, name on the wall, Micah's wall, right there. Boom. Boom.
Technically, you also have names on your wall.
Yep. Somewhere.
On a different wall.
Yeah. So, yes, you can be part of this amazing shout out, which we are going to play right now.
We gotta rap some Patreon.
You just do the singing. I'll take care of the hard part.
Let's get it on.
We want to be the best that ever was. And shout out our pals over on Patreon.
LPD, Rizzle, Retrologic Day, Utah Gamer, Slim Tour, Spanish, and Solo Something, Brian, Little Miss 7, and Cosmic.
Catch 'em, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Patreon.
K9 Katina, Third Strongest Moon, Tim the Nintendo Daddle, and Seth Sturgill, Monkey Thunder, Purple Yoda, Dat Fast John, and Lava Plays 2.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Gotta catch 'em all. Patreon. Let's get 150 or more. Yeah, please. To be a Patreon donor is your destiny.
Thank you all so much for listening, and we will talk to you next episode. Bye-bye. I like that you wave at the end of these, Micah.